Hi, Intro to Drama parents. Mr. Pruder here. Just wanted to touch base a little bit about class as well as the exciting news that I shared in the email. As I noted, my wife and I are expecting our first child, which is, of course, incredibly exciting. And so I am going to be taking off a little bit of time. So I want to take just a few moments to talk a little bit about what we've been working on, but also where we're headed and what your students are going to be working on while I'm out, as well as how they are set up for success. As a quick aside, my wife and baby are both incredibly healthy and happy and all of those great things. The only small thing is the baby is also a little stubborn and does not want to flip. And so because of that, my wife has been scheduled for a C-section. So while that certainly was not what we were hoping for, objectively, I guess it's kind of nice that at least we have a little bit of a date to talk about. And in truth, for both me and my wife, who tend to be planners, it's not the end of the world to have a set day in mind for us. But I want to talk a little bit about what the schedule is going to look like. And then, of course, we'll talk a little bit about how we can best support your student while I'm out. All right, so looks a little bit messy here with all of our colors. But at the end of the day, there's going to be time that I am out for paternity leave there in pink. And then on each side of it is going to be some time in which I am working with your students. So today and tomorrow, the 12th and the 13th, I'm teaching in person. I'm in the building just like everybody else, just so I can go ahead and meet some students and make sure things are all set up. Wednesday, I won't see your students. That's a virtual day anyway, usually, but juniors and seniors have the SAT and the PSAT that day, so we actually don't have any class. Starting Thursday begins remote teaching for me. Here's why. In its simplest form, if I were to test positive for COVID-19, I can't be in the delivery room. I need to be in that delivery room. And so I'm thankful that our administration is supportive in me teaching remotely starting on Thursday. What's that going to look like? In truth, it's going to look like what the first 5 weeks of the school year has looked like, with me behind a computer screen, your students behind a computer screen. The only difference is instead of a whiteboard, you're going to see my bookshelves or wherever I may be. That's going to be pretty much the only big difference. Now, in truth, students are starting to work their way back in, and I will not be in the classroom with them starting on Thursday. There will be a long-term sub in with them to help them get set up, to answer any questions, all of those good things. But I'm still planning on teaching Thursday, Friday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday of next week. So that's going to look similar to what we've already been doing. Next Thursday is baby day. And so I'll be out the 22nd, 23rd, and then from there, I'm going to take an additional 3 weeks, certainly to help with the baby, as well as to help my wife recover. So that's going to be the time that I'm going to be out. And I promise we'll talk about how your students are going to be using that time to make sure that we are still progressing, we're still doing what we need to do, and all those wonderful things. You'll also notice, though, that leading into Thanksgiving here, there's 7 class periods the week of the 16th, plus 2 more before we hit our Thanksgiving break, in which I'm going to be working in remote teaching. So just kind of like what we're doing right now, and just like what I'm doing on the 15th, 16th, 19th, 20th, and 21st, we'll be doing some remote teaching there. That'll be a great chance for me to go ahead, get caught up a little bit, answer any questions, get us set up for everything we have going on after Thanksgiving. So kind of nice that on each side of paternity leave, to ease into it and to ease out of it, we have some remote teaching. That's going to be certainly nice for me and my wife, but it's also going to be nice for the students. And that way I don't have to take as much time as I normally would. But I can still make sure that I stay safe, my wife stays safe, and the baby stays safe. So again, I'm really thankful to administration for their support in that. And in truth, to you all, parents have been fantastic when I've talked to them about this. Either via email or whether they're tennis parents, whatever it might be. So that's been a really, really nice thing. All right. So that, of course, does bring up the question of, that's awesome, but what are students doing while I'm away? The good news is there are all sorts of things I've already started to create, and so many things we've already started to do that we can build on. We talked early on about the importance of becoming better public speakers, better collaborators, better critical thinkers, and more confident in all of our disciplines. Those will still remain our 4 big goals even when I'm out. Here's how we're going to get there. 1, continued work, close readings of scripts. We've already been doing that. At this point, students know how to navigate a script, what they should be looking for. They'll continue to do that just with new plays. We're going to do a play together this week, a short 1-act play. And then after that, they'll go ahead and start working on their first full-length play. But how to do a close reading of the script, we've already established. They're just picking up those skills, and they're going to go ahead and transfer those over into a new reading. Same with character analysis and story structure. We started to dabble in those already. They will continue working on those skills and building those skills with our new texts. And really just dramatic readings, reading together, getting used to that, having the chance to do that in person. Even when I'm not there, they're still going to be able to work in partners. And when they're virtual, they'll have chances to head into breakout rooms and do some dramatic readings there as well. So all of those things stay the same. The new work we're going to be doing is really taking that continuing work and just applying it to A Streetcar Named Desire. It's my favorite American play. And so even though I'm really sad that I'm not going to be reading the play in its entirety with students, I'm going to do a little bit with them, but most of it's going to be on their own. It's actually kind of been fun to create some extra resources for them. Videos, edu-puzzles, things to help them as they navigate this, make sure they are understanding the plot, the characters, all of those good things. And another new thing, we'll have a chance to start working a little bit on monologues and soliloquies. Now, they're not going to be asked to perform per se while I'm out, but they will start kind of working and drafting on some of these and maybe doing some practice recordings and submitting those. And that way, when we do come back, I can really hit the ground running with them and be off and going. As far as who the long-term guest teacher is going to be, we're still working on that. Normally, we are able to solidify someone who has an ELA or a drama background. As you can imagine, it's been very difficult to find help during a pandemic. We have a lot of positions open in the building, but we will have someone with your students. And while we hope that they have a drama background, even if they don't, again, I promise you that between the videos, Ed-puzzles, and everything that's going to be up on Google Classroom, your student is going to be in really good shape. These still remain our 4 big goals: to become better public speakers, better collaborators, better critical thinkers, and more confident in all disciplines. And if we do what we need to do, even when I'm out for those 3 weeks, your students can still work towards those goals. I'm also really excited that this Thursday is parent-teacher conferences, because that's a great chance for us to touch base about the work your student has been doing and the work that is coming up. So I highly encourage you to sign up for one of our scheduling days. But do not let your student fool you into saying it is parent-teacher conferences only. This can absolutely be parent and student and teacher conferences. I would much rather talk with your student rather than about your student. And chances are they would probably prefer that too. Please encourage your student to hop on with you, to sit next to you, whatever it may be, and to be a part of these conferences. Again, it's so much nicer to talk with them about all of these things, because there's a lot of great things that have already happened in our Intro to Drama class that we want to share with you. Folks, thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video. And please don't hesitate to reach out with any questions, comments, and concerns, although I do look forward to hopefully seeing you on Thursday night. Folks, thanks again for all of the support, both for me being out as well as supporting your students during this challenging time and their pursuit of working on these big 4 goals in our Intro to Drama class. Have a great night. Hope to see you Thursday.